Good morning. Hitting the trail despite how cloudy it is, and it was just pouring a few minutes ago, and still a little mist in the air. And I wanted to talk about excuses, because boy, did I have them this morning. It's Friday, it's raining, I'm kind of tired. I don't have as much pep in my step this morning. And I made every excuse that I could find to not come out for a walk today, despite knowing how much I love it, how much it helps me get my day started, how much it helps me connect to God and myself and to my thoughts. So I thought it was a good time to talk about excuses, because I could have allowed the many excuses that I had this morning to stop me from doing what I know I needed to do. And they were good excuses, good arguments. The last one I gave myself as I sat in my car was, there's no other fucking cars here today, excuse my language. But there's no other cars here today. And I asked myself, is it safe? Should I go walking? It doesn't look like there's anyone else in the park today, including Parks Department. There's no one cutting the grass. There's no one walking around. And I sat for about 2 or 3 minutes letting that excuse run through my head before I snapped myself out of it, and I said, get out of the car. You're safe. You're good. Stay alert. Go for your walk. And I got out of the car and I started walking. And there's no mist. There's no drizzle. Just a beautiful lake. No people. But there's beautiful birds. They didn't have any excuses. They're still flying. And the flowers are opening up. And nature's doing what it does. Persisting. And so I need to persist too. But back to excuses. What kind of excuses do we give ourselves to keep us from doing the things that we know we need to do? Sorry for the planes. I live nearby a small airport. There's a lot of hobby enthusiasts flying around often. But our excuses tend to be repetitive. We tend to have our favorite excuses that we use, and they become part of our identity. We rely on certain excuses the most. And I want us to become aware of what those habitual excuses are that you keep reaffirming in your life, making them true, making them, putting more belief into them by repeating them often and over relying on those excuses to get you out of doing the things you know you need to do. Those excuses can be something like, I have a bad knee. And maybe every time someone invites you out or someone tells you to get some exercise or you got some cleaning to do, you say, oh, but that knee. Oh, but my knee's really hurting today. It's raining and my knee doesn't hurt yet, but it tends to when it rains. I'm sure it's gonna hurt later. I don't want to do too much. Or maybe you deal with anxiety and you've made that anxiety a part of your identity. You reaffirm it every day. I'm anxious. I can't do this because I'm anxious. I can't think about that because I'm anxious. I can't have that conversation right now because I'm anxious. I can't go there because it gives me anxiety. I can't deal with this right now because it gives me anxiety. How many times have we heard someone in our lives repeat that over and over and over and over? I can't come over right now. I'm too anxious today. I can't get out of the house. I can't get out of bed. Those are just two examples that come to mind. But maybe your excuses are your children. Something that sounds really noble. And people don't give you much pushback because the excuse comes in the form of a responsibility. Hi, can you come out this weekend and catch up with an old friend? An old friend's inviting you out somewhere. Or maybe they need some support. I need to get out of this house. I need to see you. And your excuses, I can't. I have the children. I'm so busy. The children have their sports. The children have this, that. Can't do it. Or growing up, I remember a specific relative that we always invited over for the holidays could never come because her kids were always sick. The kids are sick, can't make it. The kids are sick. The kids are sick again. We won't be able to come for Christmas. The kids are sick again. We won't be able to come for Mother's Day. The kids are sick again. Hiding from the world and using the excuse that the kids were sick. I have too much to do. This house is a mess. I have to clean this house. I have to get all this done. So I just want you to listen to your speech. Listen to how you engage with the world and other people. Yourself, when you have a thought of something that you should be doing. Are you over-relying on the same excuses? Try to catch yourself. Try to become aware of your own habitual patterns. And snap yourself out of it. And when you hear yourself using that excuse, say, today's the day I'm not going to let that stop me. Today's the day I'm not going to use this excuse to bow out of what I know I need to be doing, or what I know I should be doing, or what I know I can be doing. And just see how that feels to become aware of yourself and your own programming. And bit by bit, you can work through how your brain is wired and what beliefs you've incorporated into your identity. And for me, my habitual excuse is I'm tired. I'm tired. Especially since I had a surgery last year. I had my thyroid removed. And for my whole life, I've always been so energetic. I used to say, I don't run out of energy. I can go and go and go and go and go. Well, that's ended. I am constantly looking for ways to regenerate my energy now. I'm also older. I'm over 40. My hormones are changing. I'm exhausted. I have an 8-year-old daughter. And I'm often very tired. My body is still learning to adjust to this new slow pace that my computer system is now functioning on. And my body's recalibrating, and it's going to take some time before I start to feel myself again. And it's been frustrating to me. It's been over a year, and at the ends of my day, I am just wiped. I am so wiped out. And my sleep has changed. I don't sleep the same way. I used to hit the pillow and knock out. And now I find that I'm tossing and turning or waking up in sweats. And so in the morning, I don't feel as rested as I used to. Every morning, I have to have this conversation with myself about how tired I really am. And I feel so bad for myself sometimes. And I want to give myself so much pity. And I've cried. I've cried about how tired I am and how hard it is to move and do the things I know I need to do that day. But despite being tired today, despite the rain and the gloom and the lack of energy that I was missing from the sun, which often pulls me out of bed and gets me on the road. Good morning. I said, get up and do it. Get up and go. Because I know I'm going to feel good afterwards. I know I'm going to have a nice release of chemicals. I know I'm going to feel happy when I get home. I know I'm going to be ready to start my day. And it's an empowering feeling when you overcome your excuses. It makes you feel good about yourself. And it builds belief in yourself. So, on this Friday, I want you to overcome your excuses and your self-imposed limitations. Morning. Now there's more people coming out, and I'm not alone. And there's people to say hi to. And I took a turn on a more deserted part of the path because I see people walking, and the birds are singing, and I feel good, and it's not raining, and I was able to talk to you guys. So go push past your excuses today. Happy Friday.